Hello everybody, welcome to Stock Market Update. Today we'll do an update on live market. You can see this is daily chart of triple Qs. You can see what happened today. Today we got a gap down, and also if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see we were in this wedge, and instead of going up, we're going down now. Okay, now there was this green gap here. This is around 354. Looks like they want to fill that before going higher. So it's possible maybe we'll come down later on today and then fill this gap fully before a bounce, and we had a gap down. So you can see top gaps are in yellow line, green gaps are in bottom gaps are in green line. You can see now if we go back into this wedge, which is going to be very good, we will see if that happens. Now I had to adjust my scenarios based on latest price action. So you can see we were raised nicely on this support line, and today we fell below this support line. So we'll see if we can recover. But so now there are two scenarios here. So you can see there's another gap here which I highlighted in purple. So let's make it green for now. You can see the first scenario which is a very bullish scenario, which means we bottom here and we go right to the new all-time high. Okay, so before I had a bounce and going lower. So first scenario this is it, and we'll get some kind of a news, and this would be the bottom, and then we going straight higher up, which is in green scenario. Second scenario, we'll get a bounce. There's this gap here, yellow gap here, we'll fill that. And if I show you on SPY, there's another gap on a higher side. So you can see SPY also fell below this trend line, so there's another gap higher up here. So probably we're going to fill that gap, then we go down, there's another gap here around 420, and then we go higher. So yellow scenario is the second scenario, and first scenario is green. So these are the two possible scenarios. So in second scenario, we'll go slightly higher and then go back. There's another gap here around 332. So gaps are filled all the time, like 90% of the time. So gaps act like a magnet. Okay, now also remember the gaps on the top are all these yellow gaps on triple Q. So if you can hold, if you are patient, you know you will be there this year, and maybe we will be there in next couple of weeks, maybe we'll be there in a month, but you got to be patient and be a patient investor. So these are great buying opportunities. Do not be scared. Now you will start hearing in media that we are falling, we're in a bear market, and stocks are not going down. So don't worry about all this narrative, but just remember that we are in a bull market. We are almost close to a new all-time high, and I think most likely by the end of this year we will go past above this previous high. Okay, so and also if you look at correction in a bull market like on triple Qs, you can see here so far we have around almost 8.5% correction, which is pretty normal. Like in another video so let's see, this was the bull market. You can see corrections on Nasdaq. So here top to bottom almost 11% here. You can see here top to bottom around 7% here. Here you can see top to bottom around 9%. So we are almost there in the correction territory where we should be ending correction. You can see 12% here. You can see here around 11%. So we could be like around 10% on an average, and we're almost there, guys. So what I would say is take this as a buying opportunity, and this is like your great opportunity to get in. And if you can hold for a couple of months, this is going to be a great buying opportunity, and you will not regret, in my opinion. All right, so that's what I'm expecting. And one thing to note, on 1 hour chart, I see the divergences are gone. You can see there is no bullish divergence. So I think what we need to see here now, slightly like bulls want to hold here, maybe fill this gap. So I want to see like slightly new low with some divergences forming here. Okay, so I want to see that to get bullish again. But again, if you can hold for a couple of weeks to a couple of months, then these are amazing prices. Okay, this is like a sale. If you miss this whole run, this whole bull run, this is what you want to buy. Okay, this could be a nice correction before we going higher again. And SPY, same thing, which is S&P 500. It's also gap down. If I go on 1 hour chart today, you can see gap down, and now we are holding here, and it broke below this trend line as well. So let's see. I think most likely, like I said before, we're gonna fill these two gaps, then come back later on, or we're going higher from here. Okay, so both scenarios are possible. So just be ready, regardless which scenario we go. All right, so let's go to Dow Jones. And Dow Jones also another gap down, so we're going to get rid of this scenario. So yeah, again, Dow Jones there's a gap here. Now it gap down. So again, same thing. It can now from here most likely go up, fill this gap, then come down and go here. Okay, that's like a yellow scenario, or just we are just straight getting higher from here, and then we'll figure it out later on what scenarios plays out. So industrial stocks, especially banks, Dow Jones has a lot of banks, so that's why it's a bit weak. IWM is green. You can see it's back on this trend line, and you can see very nicely now we are like we gapped down today. Now we recovered, so looks like we are getting higher from here, and then there's this trend line, there's this gap fill, so definitely we're heading towards this gap fill. Gold is weak, very weak, and you can see scenario is still, I'm expecting a back test of this trend line. Let's go to 1 hour chart, and you can see what's happening on gold. Keep going lower, keep making new lows, but you can see the momentum, you can see divergences on PPO and RSI, which is telling me we just have to be patient, and we have to just wait. You can draw a trend line like this here on gold. If you want to be safe, you just have to wait for this break of this trend line. Okay, so whenever that trend line breaks, that's when you can be looking to buy gold. Gold miners are also weak, but you can see this gap here. Right here around this gap happened on 10th of March, and they want to come and fill this gap. So look at this, very close to the filling this gap, and that's what's happening. But you can see on 1 hour chart, so many gaps on the top side to fill. There's not a lot of gaps on the downside, but you can see all these gaps on the top side. Okay, so if you're patient, that you will be rewarded eventually. And you can see again here also on, let me delete this. You can see even on gold miners, we are having same thing. We have divergences. You can see if I delete this, you can see we're going lower, but you can see, let me get the right tool. You can see PPO is higher. All right, so there are a lot of lines here. Let me correct this, and you can see even RSI's divergence. Okay, we are oversold on RSI. You can see the red line here, but we still have divergences are happening. So that's telling me the momentum is still going higher, but the price is going lower. We just got to be patient, guys. And then if you're patient, you will be rewarded. Gold miners are significantly down than what I thought it's going to hold this trend line, but this was a sell signal, and then it was a bear flag, and we're almost reaching the target. So if you held gold miners right now, do not sell. Okay, also this is support here. You can see support here. We're reaching a good support here. So let's quickly look at silver. So silver is one of the best working out. You can see following this trend line very nicely. Support again here, looking for a bounce, again back test and high. So silver is the one which is holding trend line very nicely. Natural gas breaking down below this trend line, so which is not a good news, but I think it's not going to go below this previous lows, so eventually we'll be going higher. So I think maybe we can adjust this trend line. Let's quickly see if that's possible, because we need two data spots for that. No, it's still not looking good, so I'm going to keep this for now, this trend line for now as my main trend line. I want to see natural gas recover on this trend line before going higher. And crude oil, again by the dip, nice pullback, looking for this pullback to be bought. Maybe we'll have some new highs, we'll figure it out, but it can even go down here. It can even go down as low as here. There's a lot of support here, so crude oil is looking overall not bad. Toronto Stock Exchange, again, this is a nice pullback from high to here, almost 5%, and these are the opportunities you don't want to miss. You can see many times we have these pullbacks and then we recover very nicely. Again, in bull market, it's very normal to have 5 to 7% pullbacks on S&P 500. So look to grab these opportunities to take advantage of that. Do not wait till the end. You have to buy when nobody wants to buy. Hang Seng Index made a new low, but you can see PPO on daily chart is higher. RSI is a little bit lower, so I have one indicator saying it's still high momentum. This is Chinese index, but let's go to 1 hour chart. Do we see anything interesting here? You can see even on 1 hour chart, we have some momentum building up right now. You can see prices going lower, but PPO and RSI is going higher. You can see nicely here. You can here, so higher momentum. So I think again you can do the same concept here. You can draw a trend line like this, okay, and then you can wait for this break of this trend line to get bullish again. Bitcoin, very bearish price action. It did not hold a trend line which I was expecting it to hold, but you can see it was holding this nice trend line for like so long. So this was like a flag, so instead of going higher, it decided to go low. And I had this red sell signal here on this day, and you can see if I zoom in, we had this green line cross red line, but then it went below this as well. So yesterday was a big dump, and they decided to dump Bitcoin, but we are right on the support area here. You can see here what's happening. Let me try to get you right tool here. These trading view guys, they keep changing the tool, so sorry, bear with me guys. I don't know where that tool went. Here you go. You can see this whole area. You can see there's some support here, so I really want Bitcoin to find support here and consolidate a bit, digest this downwards price action, and let's see on 1 hour chart. I want to see some divergences building. So it was a dump, no divergence, so it's just consolidating. Maybe we'll get a new low. If we get a new low on divergences on 1 hour chart, that's your indication that momentum is building up. But for now, it's bearish, and we have to wait for this trend line. You can draw a trend line like that, okay? Wait for this trend line to break to get bullish again. So still, I think Bitcoin has a long way to go. I would like to see a new low form with some divergence. That will be first indication of basically a reversal. And I'm going to keep this trend line for now. Let's see what happens. Ethereum also same thing. You can see it was holding this trend line very nicely. It was in this channel, and they decided to make it lower. Give me a second. Sorry guys, I have to take a phone call. So Ethereum again, this was a channel, and now it's breaking down. And again, same thing, Ethereum here is a big support. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw another box here. You can see here, this whole box area, very nice support, and this is where it is right now, okay? Very nice support area. You can see even if I extend Ethereum here, you can see so many confluences here. So I think Ethereum should hold here, consolidate. Again, if you're a long-term investor, I think this is a great time to buy Ethereum. And if you missed this whole run, this is a great opportunity to buy Ethereum and crypto right now. Bitcoin, let's go to bonds very quick. You can see made a new low, still divergences. This is telling me that we are ready for a massive rally anytime. So we have to just be patient. Bond investors, you can see higher momentum, lower price. So everything is looking good. Dollar, right where it should find resistance. I want dollar to fail here. We'll see if dollar fails. That's going to be very good for stock market and gold. So let's see if dollar can find rejection here. That's what I'm expecting. Copper right on the buy zone, getting bought here. Palladium right on the buy zone. And you can see this was a wedge, but right on the buy zone, you can see a lot of support here, looking for high prices. Wheat, you can see back tested this wedge. You can see back tested this, and now you can see this candle almost 3%, very nice. So I think this is where you need to buy wheat, and now it's getting ready for a pump. Corn again trying to recover now. It's below this support line, but I think it should be recovering very soon. Soybeans also in the buy zone. This is where you want to buy soybeans. Sugar is slightly lower, not able to cross this resistance. So we have to wait for this to cross this resistance before you buy cane again. But I think once it starts running, commodities will be very impressive. Newmont mine right on the support line, going a little bit lower, but this whole area is a support. So this is like you're getting like almost near the lows. So this is like great opportunity to buy Newmont mine in my opinion. XLK tech sector, so we have to adjust this. You can see gap down, looking for a gap fill, so looking for prices to go higher to fill this gap. XLE energy sector by the dip, looks like did we close this gap? Let's go to 1 hour chart, almost, so we can get rid of this. This gap is closed. You can see how nicely gaps get closed, and I think it's getting ready. It's by the dip. before it go higher. XLV, healthcare sector, instead of going closing that gap, I think they're deciding to close below gap. So I think energy and healthcare, I'm not too bullish this year. So these sectors will do okay. I'm more bullish on growth and tech sector because we're in a bull run. These sectors were down heavily before. So I think if you want to invest, you should buy communication sector, growth sector, and tech sector. All right. XLU is utilities below this. You should find buyers here and then looking for a bounce. Industrial already green. I didn't adjust this for now, but looks like it's gonna go higher. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm looking for a bounce to start very, very soon and then start making a new all-time highs. Real estate sector, again on this trend line, very, very nice trend line. I did not change anything. I think this is probably the bottom and we're heading higher. XLF financials are green now. So let's see. I think if my preferred green scenario starts, probably we're gonna bottom and start moving higher. You can see now looks like there's some recovery going on. I see some green here. Let's see if at the end of the day we get green close. Let's see. Let's hope. Tesla, we had a gap here, and around 2, that gap was filled. So I adjusted this. So that right now, if I go to 1 hour chart, if we had a gap down, there's another gap around 208 here, slight gap. So let's see if they want to go fill this gap or not. But Tesla was on this trend line, they broke it. So I think we got to adjust this now. So it's kind of bearish price action. I don't see any. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Do we see any divergences forming? There's no divergence forming, so that's even bearish. So we got to be patient on Tesla. Patience is the play. So let's wait for this to recover this trend line before we get bullish again. Netflix, just back on my trend line. You can see very nicely. Now this is perfect time where you should be looking to buy Netflix. Google, coming for this gap fill and also this trend line. So I think Google probably might find some support here before going higher. I'm not sure if it's gonna go and fill this gap or not. We have to keep an eye. So let's see. We are very close to the gap, but also there is this trend line, so I should be looking to find a support here for a short-term bounce if anything. Microsoft gap down. Again, this looks like a recovery, so it feels like market wants to fill these gaps. You can see all these gaps to the top side. Meta was down 3%, gap down. I don't know, there was a news, some kind of news, I'm not sure. And then yeah, I don't see any gaps. So these gaps will be filled eventually. So I'm looking for Meta to go higher before going lower, because this gap here is way far. So I think Meta should be going higher. Apple, this gap was filled fully. There was a gap around 175. I adjusted this. And Apple is very, very oversold. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see new lows, but higher momentum on, you can see here, PPO, higher momentum. You can see higher momentum on RSI. So I think Apple is looking very good for a bounce very soon. So you should be looking to grab Apple shares if you haven't yet. This is your great opportunity, all right? Amazon, right on this trend line. Okay, this is where you should be looking to buy on support. You can see this is where you buy on support, you don't buy on resistance. This is the time you should be looking to buy Amazon. Snowflakes, earnings are coming very soon, so wait for earnings. I'm not sure how it's gonna be. It's getting very close to the lows, so maybe they're gonna pump. If we are here, if you fill this gap during earnings, then I think maybe we'll have a pump. NVDA down, so I have to adjust these lines. But NVDA, there's massive gap. So again, NVDA, I'm gonna wait till earnings. I have no direction on NVDA. AMD, there's this gap, so wait for this. I think AMD should start pumping very soon to fill this gap at the least. And yeah, I think that's about it. Again, going back on SPY. Yeah, so my preferred scenario is this green scenario, looking for new all-time high from here. Or second one will be, oh, actually it did fill this gap. Let's go to 1 hour chart, almost there. I think it's gonna fill this gap. And if I go to triple Qs, it's almost there as well to fill this gap. All right, guys, hope this was helpful, and please hit the like button on your way out. And if you wanna get some updates, I'm gonna post a quick zones very soon to my subscribers. Please subscribe and have a good one. Bye.